and welcome back to my workshop on a lovely sunny Saturday afternoon, and gonna crack on with the milling of all of the stock that I've been cutting down for the panels on the cupboards. But just out of curiosity, I thought I'd just check up on how long it's taken me to get to this point so far, and started in episode 48. There's been a couple of little interruptions, I should say, because of sorting out the bandsaw and things like that. But altogether, I think it's taken me about 26 workshop hours to get to this point. So I hadn't realised until I actually started totting it up just how long the milling process is taking. But one point that was instilled into me many years ago when I used to work at Sainsbury's home base, or home base as it is now, preparation is 75–80% of the time. So what we're doing here is all preparatory work to actually getting the job done. I can see why a lot of people just go to woodsheds and buy the finished product. That has never really appealed to me. I always get much more satisfaction out of doing the whole thing myself. But everyone to their own, and if what you want to do is go to the wood shop, that's fine, and all power to your elbow for doing it. So, as I say, cracking on with the milling process. Now, some of this has been cut down nicely, and I've just realised that since let me take that out a bit. Since I milled these, or cut them down I should say, last week, this top one has developed quite a bow along its length, so that's going to be fun working with. Come to that in a bit. So if you remember, last time I was ripping everything down on the bandsaw so that I could make these planks thinner. Then I can finish them off on the planer thicknesser. Some of them will only need to go down through the thicknesser, like this one, because that's the finished side. That one went through on the planer, and then I cut it down on the bandsaw. So there is only that side to go through on the thicknesser. But see if I can find which one it is. That one, or that pair, that was the bit that went through the planer before. I then ripped it down the middle, so that piece is already on the planer, so that part just needs to go through the thicknesser. But this one, because it was the other side to that, both sides, well, one side needs to go through the planer and then the second one through the thicknesser. So that's what I've got to do first off, is just sort out which ones need to go through the planer first. Then I can put everything through the thicknesser. Then I can cut everything to size roughly, and then I can put all of the second edges through the thicknesser. So what I'll be doing is clamping pieces together like that. So that part will be on the thickness of bed. That bit clamped together, it won't tip over then, and I can put everything through the thicknesser to make sure that the width is identical. That's my plan, and we'll see how it goes. Now, on closer inspection, I've only got this one piece that actually needs just taking down on the planer before I start putting everything through on the thicknesser. So I've adjusted the cutter to about 0.5 millimetre because it is, although it's sawn, it is a very good smooth cut. So I don't intend to take much off here, and the object is to give myself a thickness that I can use in general. So here we go. There we go, 3 small passes, and that's nice and smooth now. So there is, you might be able to tell, there is an actual taper from this top end down to this bottom end. So we'll see how this one plays out. The difference, for my interest, at this top end it's 16mm, and this bottom end it's 12, so 4mm difference. So what part is this going to play? Now this is panel number 6, so where's my cutting list? So I need a length of 630 on this one. .630 is to about there. So if I just check what the thickness is at the 630 mark, which is roughly there. .630 there. That's 14mm. So if I take everything down to 14, I can use that. So 14mm. If I take everything down to 14, that's going to be still very usable for panels. Right, let me get the thicknesses set. Right, what I've done is graded the workpieces here. So on the right at the front is the thickest piece, that's about 20mm. On the left, the thinnest piece is the one that you saw me just putting through the planer a few minutes ago, and that's about 17mm. So it's going to start from the right, take those down, so gradually this will reduce to take all of the pieces, and I'll slowly work through them and take them down to about 14mm. We'll see how that goes. Right, everything apart from this one piece here is down to about 17 mil. I just had to pause the video because the vacuum was clogging up a little, and so I've just shortened some of the pipe work, and hopefully that should get us back on track. So let's crack on. You might not be able to see it properly, but the pipe work here is up to here. It's half its thickness diameter in shavings. It's clogged up right up there and across the top as well. So what I'm going to do, empty the bag because it's nearly full, then I'll see how about clearing the pipe work, and then we can carry on. There we go, all clean and tidy, and let me just check where we are. These should be down to about 17 mil. Right, let's crack on. Now, one thing I have realised with this thickness, the handle down here that adjusts the height of the table, there is no way of locking it, unfortunately, so I'm going to have to watch what happens there. But anyway, right, that's gone well. The vacuum is behaving itself again, and we're almost there. So the thickness so far, even on this tennis board with the taper, that has taken everything down to 15, 16 mil, about 16. That's good. So one, maybe two more passes, and we're getting there. Right. So 15 millimeters. So we are getting on well. Should be one more pass. Now let me just double check, because the piece that was the thinnest is that piece. piece there. Now, the length I need out of this is 630, which is roughly here. So I've got about 50mm to go up to thinning it down there, and I've got a little bit there. So yeah, one more pass should be fine. And good. There we go. This should well, that's just under 14. That's bang on 14. So I'm going to finish the working there. That is worked down to where I needed it to be. There's just that little bit there because of a side taper. I'm not going to worry about that because once I've jointed everything, I can then cut everything equally to size. So that's as far as I'm going with the machining here. Right. Having said that, I've just spotted a piece here. No, I've got one more piece to do, haven't I? Oh well. I missed it. So that's been a good afternoon's work. All of the panel pieces are now down to 14, 15 mil, something like that. That's good enough for me, and what I'll be able to do next is cut them all to length. Then I can finish off the edges on the thicknesser, and then I can start cutting everything to length prior to bringing them down to actual finished sizes. So things are going well with this project, and hope it's not been too tiresome for you watching me do all of this work, but I'm certainly enjoying it. One thing is I'm finding is the satisfaction of working with a natural product like wood. You know what I'd like? To be able to plant an acorn, watch the tree grow, be able to harvest the tree and process it. That would be my ideal. I would love to be able to do that. Yeah, the tree would take me 500 years to get to that point, but that's what I'd like. And Who knows? I might even have that dream come true. But anyway, that's my ambition. Thanks for coming along with me this afternoon, and I'll see you on the next episode.